Welcome to Lab 1 assignment for CMP 281 for spring 2016 semester. Today we'll be showing a demo of playing around with Amazon EC2 by creating a web application on the EC2 instance. First of all, I would like to highlight some points about what is Amazon EC2. Amazon EC2 is Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, which is a web service that provides resizable compute capacity in the cloud. It provides instances to develop and deploy the applications, and it also provides the configuration for CPU, memory, and networking capacity of your instances, which are known as the instance type. The advantages of Amazon EC2 are it is very elastic, it is completely controlled, it is flexible, reliable, secure, and more importantly, it is very inexpensive. To create an EC2 instance, we will first have to create an account on the Amazon Web Services. To create an account on the AWS platform, go to the aws.amazon.com. Click on create free account link as you can see here. This will take you to the page where you have to enter your email ID and click on the I am a new user radio button. Uh, let's for example say your email ID is test@sjsu.edu and click on sign in using our secure server. Okay, it will ask for your name. You'll have to retype your email ID, enter the password, and go to create account. Okay, this will take you to the contact information page on the AWS portal. Enter your company. If you have a company account, enter your company details and your name. And if you would like to make a personal account, so click on that radio button and please fill in the details accordingly. Once you check the checkbox, this and then click on this button, you will be redirected to the uh, card information page where you have to enter your debit card and credit card details. uh, the AWS will bill you accordingly on the credit card information, and then if there are charge of over usage of the AWS, they will directly use that card information and bill you accordingly. After you have entered your card information, you will have a page where you'll have to enter your phone number. This is the phone number verification page where the AWS services call you and verify that you are the actual user whose account is being created. Uh, After that, you'll have just one email confirmation and then you are good to go. So I'll show you since I have an account. Once you enter the portal, how does it look like? Okay, it's my ICSU ID, my password, and sign in. Once you sign in, you can see all the web services that are provided by Amazon. You can see EC2 here, the scalable storage in the cloud S3 here. You can see the virtual private cloud, the databases, and the CloudWatch here. So since we have created the account, we are good to go to create the EC2 instances, and we can start creating and deploying our web app. As you can see here, we have logged in into the AWS console and we can see all the web services provided by AWS. One important thing to note here that we have logged in from the user which we have created right now. This user is called the root user, or it may be viewed as an admin. By using the Amazon identity and management console, we can create and manage users uh, under the main user. So what is IAM? Amazon Identity An access management console is a web service that helps you securely control access to the AWS for your users. We can manage the user groups, rights and settings. We can grant different permissions to different people for different configuration. Let's say we create a user, uh, namely test user. The test user should only be able to read or write into the S3 storage in the cloud, that is S3, as you can see in the screen here, or it may have only permissions to check the status of the EC2 instances and not create any other instances. So we can go to the IAM console and create users and give the rights and settings accordingly. So let's log out. Let's go to the IAM console and create a user first. Then we can go to IS from here. Okay, you can see the overview of the users that have you have created, the groups you have made, and also we have a dashboard to provide the users, the roles, policies, groups, and etc. So to create a user, we go to the users button on the dashboard. Okay, to create a new user, we can click here, and let's say we want to create a username test user under this account. Okay, and we might skip this until unless you want to avoid this. You can click on create. This will create. Okay, this says the username exists. Let's create this one. Okay, you can see here the user that I created just now is available here. Now, to log into any user, we have an account ID. That is your see. You can see here the user ARN. Okay, we can enter the AWS using this user. Now to enter via the IAM console, let's log out here from here, and we can log in back again from the users which we have created just now. Let's sign in again onto the AWS console. Let's this is the link for IAM console where we I have my account ID here. I can input the username, password, and then we are good to go. Okay, so we have logged in from the user which is under the main user, that is the root user, and this user has permission for admin. It can manage everything onto the AWS console. The next step in creating the web application and deploying on EC2 instance is configure a virtual private cloud. Okay, you can see that we have the option of VPC under the networking option. But first of all, what is a virtual private cloud? The VPC is a tool to keep a complete control over your virtual networking environment. You can easily customize the network configurations for your Amazon virtual private cloud. You can leverage multiple layers of security, including security groups and network access control to Amazon EC2 instances in each subnet. We can configure different subnets for different access, such as public subnets for HTTP request, that is the internet facing your web servers, and private subnets for backend and database servers. So let's get into the VPC portal here. As you can see the dashboard, you have options of elastic IPs, your subnets, and we on the center of the screen we have the overview of the instances and VPCs, number of VPCs that are running. So to create a new uh, VPC, we click on Start VPC Wizard. Okay, to create to deploy a web app on the EC2 instance, we require two private subnets, two public subnets. So for this, we select a VPC configuration with a single public subnet. Okay, click on select, type in a friendly name. Okay, for this we write public subnet 1, and when we click on create VPC, it will create the VPC and we can see the VPCs here. So I've created a VPC here, that is test VPC, and we can see the default VPC here. So this is how we create a virtual private cloud on the AWS console. From here we have to create two more subnets by clicking here, that is public subnet 1 and public subnet 2 for the web app to be accessible from the internet. Okay, and private subnets we create for database instances. Like suppose if we have uh, a database calls and we do not we want to access it over a private subnet, we have to create two private subnets here. So I have created two public subnets, that is public subnet 1 and public subnet 2, and two private subnet, subnet 1 and subnet 2 namely. So we have created these subnets. We can go to the next step, that is configuration of security groups. As we can see on the left hand side of the screen, that is the VPC console, we find the security groups under the security tab here. We can see the all the security groups that have been configured here. But let me tell you something about the security groups. The security groups act as a firewall between the EC2 instances and the external world. They can be configured to suggest the type of connection that can be made to the EC2 instances. We can add roles to a particular security group, and for connecting a web app we need an HTTP access, and to connect your machine to the EC2 instance we need SSH part. So we'll create a security group depending upon this. Let's say name tag is web. Okay, web server group. Let's create again test group here, and this is a test group. Okay, this is our test. Okay, group name is test group, and then we have to select the particular VPC that we have created, so that the groups come under those VPC. So here click on yes create, and you can see the web server group here. When you click on the server group, you have all the VPCs attached to it. Test VPC, you can see the inbound rules of HTTP and SSH. Outbound rules, we can give the rules here. By when we create it, we can give all the rules which you want, starting from HTTP, HTTPS, SSH. So we have configured the security groups. We can go to the next steps now. The next step is to create and launch an instance for our web application. So go to EC2. This is the most important step of the procedure. This is what EC2 is. So to create an instance, we have to go to the EC2 portal and click on launch instance button. Okay, choosing an Amazon machine image. An Amazon machine image, that is AMI, is a template that contains a software configuration. For example, an operating system, an application server, and applications. We can have replicas of about 22 total types of AMIs. We have Linux, we have Red Hat Linux server, we have Ubuntu, we have Windows. So free tier is also available, and we have the options of scaling each of these AMIs as per our needs and requirements. So for our web application, we'll choose the Amazon Linux uh, AMI and go ahead choosing the instance type. It provides a wide selection of instances which we can use for our purposes. Choose the best instance which you want for optimum use. Since we have a free tier available, go with the T2 Micro by clicking on configure instance details. Okay, this is an important step here. Uh, on the network tab, click on the VPC which you have created. Okay, and then the subnet which is provided by the VPC. Uh, Make sure the autos and public IP is enabled here, and we can also select the role if you want by clicking here. Now we have options to add storage. If you want, we can tag the instances by our name, configure the security group. If you want, we can add the rules here. If you want, we can choose it. We can choose existing here from here, and the security group here which we already uh, had selected. See, we have all the rules here. Since we had configured the security group here, we have the HTTP and SSH here, and in the end we can review and launch them. So on the running instances, I have created instance with Linux AMI here, and after a couple of minutes it will start running. So we have created the instance here. We have the public DNS which is available here, which we can access after we have deployed the app. We have all the details here. We have status checks, monitoring, tags. We can have the report of the CPU usages here. So we are ready with our instance, and we can deploy our web app. We can connect to it, and we can start deploying our app on the virtual server. To connect our Linux instances, we'll have to use putty here. Since our server, you can see our instance is running now. It is available to get connected. Now for the particular user we want to connect, first we'll have to generate a key pair. We can generate a key pair by the key pair tab here on the dashboard, and select the particular user, and then we can create the key pair here. We can see the key pair in our downloads here, which is this pem file. Now uh, to generate the key, this will be a .pem file. To use the key, we'll have to generate another key by using puttygen. We can use the pem file. See, we have here, and we can create that file. Now we use putty to uh, connect our EC2 instances. Since I have Windows machine, when we are connecting to a Linux server, the username will be ec2-user. This is followed by the public DNS of our instance, which is here. Copy that, connected here. I create this, and we can import the key which is being generated and put it in the authorization tab here by the SSH. this is the SSH and this is the auth. We browse the for PPK and I think it should connect here. Okay, this is just a warning. Click on yes, and you are now into the connected to the Amazon Linux AMI as you can see here. Okay, since we are connected here, we are good to go. We can start the service by using the command start service here. As you can see, we have connected to the EC2 terminal. Now to start the EC2 service, we have to enter the command which is here. Sorry, sudo start service. Start. Okay, it is starting, and the next command is sudo check config on HTTP on. Now we would like to access the install an Apache web server on the uh, Linux AMI. So the command is sudo yum install this. This will install MySQL server, PHP server, and the Apache web server on the instance. So now we go ahead and to make changes on the since we have logged in by the username EC2, we cannot make changes on the directories of the AMI. So by we'll have to change the permission so that we have the read and write access on the AMI. We can do this by this command chown. Okay, we'll write sudo chown r hyphen v ec2 user where slash www. This will enable the EC2 user to make changes in the files. uh, I have the WinSCP portal here. I can connect it to the same. So host name we have to write, paste it here. Oops, I'm sorry. Host we can paste it. DNS here. We can put the EC2 user here. Password we'll have to enter the key here. Okay, login. And then there is one more warning. We can say yes to this, and then we can see the server here. This is the EC2 here user here. We can go to root and where and www files. We have HTML, so we'll modify this with HTML so that we have our application page on the first page on the site when we hit our public DNS. So we have workspace, HTML file, content, and uh, let's say we want to write a simple HTML file like local storage. So we can drag and drop here, change the name accordingly, and we can test this by using the public DNS here. Copy this and we'll paste it on the browser. See, this is our demo. We have successfully launched our web app onto the application, and we can use it, and accordingly we can this is how we can deploy a simple HTML web application onto our server. This is the demo which I have showed. The content which I pasted from here, and we can see the index.html file here. We have the content here. So you can see the content once again. Okay, so we can minimize this. We can operate scripts and HTML on our server, so we can access it from anywhere. So we have connected to our instance, we have launched an instance, and we have successfully deployed a web application onto our server. Okay, the most important thing about instances and EC2 is the monitoring. Uh, it EC2 provides continuous monitoring for our instances regarding the CPU utilization, disk read operations, write operations. We can see all the spikes here for last 5 minutes, an hour earlier. We can see the data for 2 3 days. So we can have analysis on this. This is the CloudWatch interface. We can close this. We can see the status, check the network out if we have any trouble. So this is the CloudWatch interface which we can see here. So this is the complete tutorial of deploying a simple HTML web application onto a Linux AMI on EC2 instances. Thank you for watching, and I hope this is a fairly simple demo of playing around with EC2, and we have we are successful in deploying the web application onto the server. Thank you.